And in international news, French Finance Minister Christine Lagarde officially declared her candidacy to head the International Monetary Fund, saying she should be judged on the basis of experience rather than nationality. Lagarde, who would become the first woman to lead the Washington-based fund since its founding in 1945, now has the backing of Europe's main economies and, according to the French government, also China's support. Despite that, the IMF representatives of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, the so-called BRICS nations, united yesterday to protest publicly against the presumption that the fund's next chief once again should be a European. Mexico's central bank chief, Agustin Carstens, himself a candidate to run the IMF, called for a fair and transparent search process and for the emerging market economies to have more say in the nomination.
We need to see further progress in terms of the representation of emerging markets at the fund. And also we need the voice of emerging markets to be heard more and for them to have more of a say in determining the policies of the fund. Now, I also recognize that this is not only to give to emerging markets. I think emerging markets also should bear more of a responsibility in stewarding the world economy towards more stable and sustainable growth.
Japanese exports tumbled in April as expected. However, the data shows the Japanese economy may be bottoming out. Exports fell 12.5% last month, led by a slump in overseas car sales. This reinforces the view that the economy is headed for a third straight quarter of contraction for the April to June period. But analysts point out that the month-on-month decline in exports is slowing. Compared to March, April exports fell 5.5% after an 8% drop from February to March. This gives some economists hope that the export figures are hitting a bottom. Also, the Japanese central bank shares this view. It sees growth to resume in the second half onwards. The Philippine Central Bank expects inflation to peak this quarter and stabilize later this year as pressure from rising food and fuel prices ease. Inflation in the Philippines rose to a year high of 4.5% in April, and policymakers say it could top 5% in the coming months. However, the central bank's deputy governor believes latest inflation figures may come in below expectations.
The prices of these key commodities have started to ease. This is good news as far as domestic inflation is concerned. And we should be able to see that in terms of the May inflation, which I expect would not be as high as the other segments of the market would expect.
Also, higher overseas remittances, strong exports and capital inflows have helped dampen inflation pressures in the Philippines. Because these flows translate into a stronger peso-dollar exchange rate, and a stronger peso in return helps bring down inflation. Still, it is too early for the central bank to consider a pause in its tightening stance. It was among the last of the Asian central banks to raise interest rates. It did so in March and in May. That's it for international business, but before we head back to news, let's take a quick look at the Asian equity, commodity and the currency markets. And after that, Laura Buckwell is back with the news.